I'm in the game. I'm in the game. Hello, I'm in the video with my daddy.
What's going on, everybody? So there's going to be 2 episodes probably this weekend. The person that I was going to have come on had to work today, so might come on tomorrow, but I won't know for sure till later. So I asked Terry to come on today just to kind of fill in a little bit. So we're going to talk to Terry again. This is probably the last time you're going to hear me talk this episode, but it's okay. It's Terry. The other thing is we're going to have fun today. All right, Terry. So we were talking before this.
Hey, everybody.
We were talking what about StreamYard, right?
Yeah.
So StreamYard now on your phone, you can live stream to Instagram. I've not figured it out yet, but it is an option that we have now.
Yeah,
but you can only do it on your phone. You can't do it on a webcam and a camera. It is the most. We're getting closer. I want to stream on Instagram so bad, but
yeah,
they can't figure it out. I don't know.
Well, I seen a video from StreamYard the other day, and they was talking about, they're getting ready to introduce, the Instagram part of it. They just hadn't never opened it up, to actually start working. But that's good that they have got it. Even if it is just on the cell phone, at least, like you said, that's the start.
Right. I mean, they're or TikTok. When StreamYard's able to go there, that'll be a big game changer, I believe. TikTok, there's nothing bad about YouTube. YouTube it's great, but there's such a big community over on TikTok. It's just crazy. You can get lost over there for hours.
Yeah. There's a bunch in here. I can see that already.
Right. Yeah, the chat has been hopping ever since 9 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, I seen where Ryan come on here at 9 o'clock this morning.
Right.
Yeah, I seen you post, Ryan. About the video on the Muppets. Yeah, me and Papa Z ought to whoop your ass. But that was funny, though, I have to say. Those y'all out in the chat, if you ain't seen Ryan's video he made, you ought to go watch it.
Right.
And I did give him permission to do it, so can't say too much.
Well, yeah, but you didn't see how it was going to be made, right?
I know, though. He'd already let us know ahead of time on Cliff's live stream the other night that he was going to do it, and I was ready for it, but I just didn't know it was going to be like that. And I'm sure Jimmy Lepford probably after him too.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
So let's get an update on your health thing, because last time you were on, you were doing the transplant stuff, and now that's all kind of changed, right?
Yeah, I was watching the video that when we done it the first time back in October of 21,
right?
And I wished I looked like I did then. Now, because I just got out of the hospital about 3 days before we done that, and I was feeling pretty good then. But yeah, I can tell if anybody watches it, my health has gone downhill fast. But as far as the lung transplant, what it boiled down to is after doing all the tests, my body's just not capable of making it through the surgery. I've got 2 blockages in my heart, and they can't operate on me or do a bypass on that, or they can't, do the stents because the location of the blockages. They said the stents wouldn't, they couldn't use them, so that was out of the question. They have to do a bypass. Well, they can't do the bypass because my lungs, they can't get me back off the ventilator. But my oxygen is just too low. And they can't give me a lung transplant because my heart's too bad. So they was going to do both at the same time. But then after they finished doing the rest of the tests, they found out that, my body is just too weak and just, too run down, I guess. It's not, they said it just wouldn't, be possible for me to make it back off the table, doing both surgeries at the same time. Even one surgery is bad enough. It's 15-hour surgery just on the lungs, not counting, however, how long it takes to do the bypass.
15 hours. Yeah, 15 wow, hours. I didn't know that.
There's 4 doctors that they've got down there at that hospital that actually does the lung transplant. They swap off with each other. One of them, will do so much for so long, and then they'll switch to another one because one doctor can't stand there for 15 hours doing the surgery himself. So they got 4 doctors, and that's why I had to meet every one of them during that process of, doing testing. Is to get familiar with, each one of them tell me, well, they're going to be doing this part, where I'm going to be doing this part. But when it's all said and done, none of them's going to do no part. But, they offered to give me a referral to Cleveland Clinic or Duke University or the hospital in Nashville, that does lung transplants and stuff. But I told them, there's really no point in me going to another hospital or having another doctor, see me for another opinion, because the risk is going to still be there of me being able to get back off the table. It's because, right. My body, no matter what hospital I'm at or what doctor's doing it, the risk, is still going to be there. So I told them there's no point, me. Besides that, I couldn't make it to Cleveland, when they need to do all the tests up there. And then you've only got 6 hours from the time they get that lung to get to the hospital and then to get prepared for the surgery to do it. And for me to go from here to Cleveland Clinic in 6 damn hours, that's out of the question. Because I couldn't drive or couldn't, ride that far. And I sure couldn't fly. I mean, I was lucky to be able to go to Lexington because it's only 30 minutes away. That I could handle. But not, just like, going to Duke University places. If I'm going to travel that far, I'm going to make it to Acton. I ain't worried about the rest of it.
Well, like I said, I would just kind of want to give everybody an update, kind of where you are from when last time you were on, because I know a lot's changed since then to now.
I wasn't planning on doing that, when to come on here. I was going to say, when we first started, let's talk about everything but my health, because everybody's getting probably tired of listening to it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, I just figured everybody else, that's listening, is probably getting tired of, hearing me. Because every time we go on a live stream, somebody will ask about me, and naturally I get, I appreciate the fact that everybody, is concerned about my health, because I ain't going to be around long. I know that for a fact. And
you'll be around for a long time. You're old and stubborn. You'll be around for a long time.
Well, the old part maybe.
Right.
It's good, for me to have the subscribers that I've got, not to have the first model built or showed a video of me building a model, and for me to have 900 subscribers, it's just hard, to imagine, that people will stand behind you, even if it's just for your health, because they, like I said before, everybody assumed, if I got that lung transplant, I'd be building models left and right then, because I'd be able to. But that ain't going to happen. But, everybody didn't unsubscribe from me just because, I didn't get the lung transplant and be able to build, which I am. I'm pushing myself now, since I know I can't get the lung transplant. I'm going to do what I can to build, in the shape that I'm in. It's just going to take me a whole lot longer to do it, because, I can come in here Now I can sit here for 3 or 4 hours and do a live stream, and it don't bother me. But to come in here and actually start moving around and working on a model, and get out of breath real quick. And most of them can verify that. If they see me like on Brian's live stream or Cliff's, if I just turn around and reach to get a model or something at a show or something out of the floor, I get out of breath. It don't take minutes to get me out of breath, moving around. But I can sit here in this chair and do a live stream all night long, and it doesn't bother me. But I have got the eggplane here. I'm getting ready to paint it, but it's waiting for the humidity to drop a little bit more. And then I've got the Boot Hill Express, that I was going to start on after I get it done. So I have got models that I am going to, start building, and hopefully I can, get a couple more built before Acme that I can even take them down there, and put them on the table. But I got to start somewhere, and I have to thank Marcy, in the chat room, for sending me that eggplane. I really do appreciate that. And same way with the Boot Hill Express. Jeff Elliott sent that to me. And,
sweet.
But, I got money to buy models with, and I got about 300 of them here behind me. I could have picked, another model, but I didn't have either one of the ones that they sent me, and I really appreciate it. And I appreciate it too, Sarah. I mean, I know you're in pretty bad shape, and I keep you on my prayer list too. And I really appreciate everything that everybody does out there. But I will. I'll do what I can, and everybody is willing to bear with me, and I appreciate that even more. That they will not ban me or whatever.
And this is some of the things that you do for the community is you get in the chat and you'll like control the chat too. I've seen that on Fred's, Brian's, Cliff's.
I'm Pappy's bodyguard.
Right. And you don't do that just for Fred. You do that kind of for everybody.
Well, yeah, even for Brian, because a lot of times he'll keep his back to the screen and he can't see, and I'll tell him, well, so-and-so's in the chat room, or, somebody has a question, and because he can't see it or don't look all the time because he's, got his back to it. And if nothing else, I guess I'm, useful on something of it.
So, and speaking of live stuff, we're going to talk about what you've been doing on Thursday. Thursdays, you have basically a hangout, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I just started that this past Thursday, maybe the third time that I've done it. Now, I did do one with Thomas, if you remember, back last year. We done probably 3 or 4 live streams through the week, during the day. But then his health, he just couldn't do it, so we had to quit. But that was his live stream. So since I was paying for my, the StreamYards, I figured if I'm going to pay for it, each month, then I should get, start using it. And that's why I decided, to start doing a live stream. And two, Thursday night was about the only night that nobody does a live stream on YouTube. I mean, in the model community, that's what I should say. I mean, you got Cliff on Monday. I don't know if there's anybody on Tuesday. I guess
I don't think so.
Pretty well open, but Wednesday night, naturally, me and Cliff we play Rec Fest. But then you got Kenny, that does his live stream, and
Kenny,
then you've got me on Thursday, Pappy on Friday, Brian on Saturday, and eventually Terry too. Super Sport models, he'll get back to doing his on Sunday. So, the whole week is pretty well a live stream for somebody.
It's pretty cool. I try to hit up most of them. Or if I'm in the chat at least. But sometimes I go on live.
Like I told you earlier, what I like about the live streams too is I don't like to sit and text, or type.
Right.
Message after message. I mean, it's all right if you're in the chat room and you can't get in or whatever to sit there and talk back and forth, but it's not the same thing. And that's what I've told Brian and him over and over. I don't have anybody really to talk to, through the week. All I do is sit here. Tend to come on, his live stream on the weekends, or tune in on Pappy's on Friday night, just like we did last night, and or Terry 2 on Sunday, or Cliff's on Monday. That's the only time I really get to communicate or sit and be able to talk to somebody like face to face. Even though we're not, in person, it's still more face to face, talking that way. And
Right.
that's what I look forward to, because it's a way for me to get to spend some time with everybody, and not to be able to get out and get around, like everybody else can. I mean, I do good to go from one room to the next, where everybody else, just get up, go whatever, do whatever, and not think nothing about it. For me, if I go into the kitchen to get something to eat, I have to think of what I want before I get up to go get it, and go right straight to it and get it and come right straight back, because I can't stand in there looking for stuff, or because the more I stand, the more out of breath I get. I mean, like a lot of people, just take it for granted. They just get up, go in and start filtering through the refrigerator, through the cabinet, getting what this or that or other, and not think nothing about it, and turn around and come back. I can't do that. Same way when I get up to come in here. I get up out of my chair, come right straight in here and sit down in this one. If I hesitate or lollygag around, trying to get in here, then I'm so out of breath when I get in here, I can't hardly make it. But it's just a lot more funner for me on the weekends and stuff, or even through the week or starting of the week, to be able to get in those hangouts, and enjoying, talking to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, that's the whole goal for all these live streams. Is it's us interacting with one another.
Yeah.
It's been great. I think, it's, and then you get to meet more of the personalities of everybody, because it's not just what they're doing. It's, you kind of see their point of view, good, good or bad, right? Depending on the person, right? But
well, that's just like Pappy's last night. I mean, usually he just stays on an hour, well, he even missed it in the chat room. But last night, we just got busy, or he just got busy talking, with everybody in the chat, that he was on for an hour and a half and didn't even realize, he'd been on that long before he quit. Yeah. It was going on, 10 o'clock when he, quit. And, but that's the thing about it, is everybody starts having fun, and you don't realize how long you've been sitting there, or how long you've been doing it. Just like mine, I go for usually 4 hours, sitting there and don't think nothing about it.
Yeah, like Marcy says, lives are like our own modeling club. That's true.
Yeah.
Because there's really not a modeling. Well, there's two. There's one really close, and then there's one an hour and away.
Yeah.
It's like.
Well, usually everybody on a hangout, they're working on a model at the time too, and everybody can see what they're actually working on. Where you got everybody up on the screen at once, and you can see, everybody what they're working on. And it's like, if me or Brian or whoever, we can bring you up, full screen, and you can show, just that one person, up close what they're working on.
Right.
So it's like Marcy said, I guess in a way it is, like a model club. You're showing your work as it's being done, in other words, and everybody, sees it at the same time.
Yeah, and then you give out nicknames once you get to know everybody.
Yeah. I'm good for that too. Just ask Pappy, or Snappy Pappy.
Right.
Or Pork Chop.
Don't go there, Brian. So what are you working on at the moment? You just doing the egg plane stuff?
Yeah, just the egg plane, and when I get that done, then I'm gonna start on the Boot Hill Express. But
now is that a truck, or is that a truck or a car?
The Boot Hill Express?
Yeah.
It was a hearse that they used back in the 1800s. Matter of fact, Jeff sent me some background history on that Boot Hill Express. The hearse, the original one that was built, was taken from the actual wooden hearse from 1850. And
Oh, okay.
the last person they hauled in that hearse was Bob Younger from the Jesse James and Cole Younger, gang. He was the last one to ride in it.
Huh. That's cool.
Well,
A little
yeah,
bit
I
of
think
history
it's
there.
pretty neat, that he was, that it's associated with Jesse James, gang. But the original one, was made out of wood, and they built two more just like it out of fiberglass. Yeah, I know, Pappy. I already know what's coming next, and I'm surprised you ain't already typed it in.
Yeah, that's funny. So is there anything else after that you're gonna be working on?
Well, I seen where Jason, Blue Ox starts tomorrow. Starts the street machine group build. I'd like to get in on that, if I could, because it's like I told Pappy the other night, that the street machines is more like the cars that we drove to high school. That could be considered a street machine. I mean, I drove a '69 Oldsmobile 442 with a factory Hertz, 4-speed in it to school. And then after I got out of school is when I got the '69 Camaro that I drag raced. And so, I could build the '69 Oldsmobile. I also had a '62 Chevrolet Impala Bill Air, that back when I was going to school. That was one of my first car that I drove to school. And I sold it in order to get the Oldsmobile. But we, had the big wide tires on the back of the N50s and all that stuff, and air shocks and it jacked up the back end, and that was the thing back then. And Pappy had the '69 Camaro that he drove to school, and he didn't have it pro treated at that time either. But I mean, that's would be pretty neat to be able to get on that group build, because I've got Camaros and I've got the Oldsmobiles, and it'd be easy for me to pick a model out to do one or get started. But,
I mean that's cool, and that does sound like an interesting group build. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but there's so many group builds out there right now. I mean, hell, you just take your pick, and there's one somewhere or another.
Right.
I mean, model car guy, he's got a group build going on. Can't remember now what it's about not drag racing, but drag something other. Like I say, there's so many.
I think he's doing the funny cars, right?
I don't know if it's a funny car, but I think
it's something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm surprised, Ron, you didn't drive the damn Model A.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I could have drove one of myself, but that's the move.
Yeah,
But I do remember.
Dragsters.
I did have a '55 Chevy pickup that I don't know if anybody a lot of people out there wouldn't know. I'm sure Ron does. But they had the starter was right next to the gas pedal. You had to mash a little button in the floor to start it. You turned the key on, but then you mashed a button or a little pedal next to the gas pedal in the floor to start the car or the truck. A lot of people probably don't remember ever seeing one like that. Same way most people don't remember the dimmer switch being in the damn floor. Everybody remembers it being up on the damn steering wheel.
Yeah, I was gonna say that changed in the early '80s, I think.
Yeah, probably somewhere in there. Well, even that's when they switched and put back in the '70s, I think, is when they switched and put the key switch, the ignition on the steering wheel. Because all the cars before that, was in the up on the dash.
You know, I want to say that was mid '80s too.
Yeah, Brian said
I was a kid then, so I could be wrong.
The first car I had was one that you get out in front of it and crank it.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, classic cars.
Ron, that little pedal, that or little thing you had to mash beside the gas pedal to start it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I'm not that old, unfortunately. Yeah.
Marcy said she remembers the 4 switches.
Right. Yeah. So, you get any new tools or anything?
Well, since I was on your last, I've got quite a few of them. One of them that I want to really I'm going to try it out on this eggplane is my Harder and Steenback airbrush that I bought. Everybody told me it's crazy for spending this much money on it, but it's just money. I ain't gonna take none of it with me. So the less I've got when I die, the less chances the kids have got to fight over. So they can fight over all the damn models and tools I bought with it. Right. But I've bought a new airbrush. The all-time buying, just like the video I made the other day. I got these paint brushes off of Amazon. There's 31 of them altogether, and they're it's what the salon people use, to paint fingernails with. And there was one set that comes with it. It's called a dot brush, or a dot tool, and they use them, to paint the little dots and stuff on their fingernails. But I figured, they'd be ideal, about doing like doorknobs or radio knobs on the dash or stuff like that. I mean, right, before I got them, I was using, a toothpick, to paint stuff like that. But I, they're, different sizes. They got a real small one and the bigger one. It's not really all that big, but it's, I think there's about 7 of them altogether, maybe 8. But for the price, it's only like $8, for the whole 31-piece set. And I thought it was pretty neat. And the one thing, just like Ryan, from RPM Games, that he liked about them was that there's a couple of them in there. It's like liner brushes or a script brush. The bristles is about 3/4 of an inch thick or long, and they're real good if you wanted to do your own pinstriping or something like that with them, because they will hold a lot more paint than a regular little bitty paintbrush. And but then like I said, there's several different styles or angles of brushes and everything that come with it. But I thought it was a good deal.
Wait, what? The ladies first got chrome paint for nails. That must be a fingernail polish.
Yeah.
It's talking about. And then RPG asked if you're gonna sell the paint, you shouldn't breathe in and just use acrylics, or how is that gonna work for you? It's a good question.
Well, my son is, if I can never get off his ass and do it, he's going to drill a hole through the wall and put my hose, from my paint booth outside to where I should. Well, I'm not going to be painting with any lacquers or any enamels probably to start with. There'll be acrylic paint, and what I've got, is mostly all acrylic anyway. I've got a lot of pearl powder paint. I've got a lot of metallic or metallizer paint, which it's all acrylic, and none of it has any smell to it. But now I can handle lacquer thinner and stuff like that to an extent, as long as I keep everything ventilated, keep ceiling fan on, keep the fan on the paint booth or whatever, it pretty well will draw it out. Or if I use like a little container of lacquer thinner, to clean my airbrushes and stuff like that with, it don't bother me at the time when I'm using it if I breathe, a small amount of it. But now I have got a respirator that I can use. It's not the one that I use when I have my body shop. I don't know where it's at. I can't find it. But I just ordered me a new one off Amazon and to use. But as far as what paint I have got, and I've got a lot of fingernail polish too. Now that might be a different story. I may not be able to use it no more because that acetone, it's strong as hell anyway. Nail polish remover. I can't hardly stand to smell that stuff to start with, much less paint with it. And but nail polish is really good about painting with. It puts down a real good shine and a good coat on a model, and it's really durable. I mean, it's just like you paint your fingernails, and it'll last a pretty good while before finally chip it all off. But if you put it on a model and set it up on a shelf, it's going to be like for a long time. And even if you took it to a model car show, and handled it a lot, it would stand up, to most of what you put it through at the time. Or what I've seen in it anyway. But I don't have a whole lot. I mean, most of it, like I said, all my paint is apple barrel, or I've got a couple of these other Sig-Art and Premium something other is another craft paint brand that I got. And like I said, I've got a lot of pearl powder and stuff, on this other table here behind me, and metallizers and stuff like that. Color shift paint. But, I've got plenty that I can use.
So what type of color shift paint do you have? What kind of color shift paint do you have? The craft acrylic stuff?
Yeah.
Like the apple barrel stuff?
Yeah, well, I've got some craft color shift pearl powder that I could use. Mix it with clear, and if you put it over a black base or silver, it does pretty good. Even though it's a pearl, it turns out pretty good. If you got a gloss black base to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, one day I'll figure all that paint stuff out. I have one day.
It's just, and into a lot of it, you can paint a lot with just a regular brush, especially detail work, and craft paint works pretty good on that. A lot of people, that uses the Tamiya spray cans or airbrush or whatever, they still will do a lot of the detail work, like on the interior stuff, with the craft paint, because it covers it pretty good, and it's easy to work with, and it's easy to clean up. You don't have to use, all that thinner and stuff like that.
Are there any other new tools that you've gotten?
And it's cheap. It's only 50 cents a bottle if you get it at Walmart.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah, did you get any other tools or anything?
I was trying to think, did I anything else? Yeah. Like I said, I bought some other stuff. I just can't remember. I did buy a new Dremel tool. Bought that off of Amazon. I've got a wood burning set, which that really useless for a model. But I just can't think of a lot more stuff that I bought. I did buy since I was on here, I bought one of those Carney cases to put all the models in. that I've got up on the wall.
Oh, like a display case kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
That's
I was
cool.
watching the video that Ken Brown had, and he was showing where he bought some of them, and he had a link up where he bought them at. So I went on and bought me one. Yeah, they're pretty nice. I wished I'd have bought the one that I've got now. Some pickups won't fit in it. It's not tall enough. Mine's got like 20, 28 or 26 slots in it, and a lot of them that's got 24 slots is a little bit taller, and that's just like the 30 model Woody that Charlie Mack built, for my appreciation build. It won't fit in the cabinet. It likes just about a quarter of an inch being tall enough. You have to put it up on top and another case.
Right. I understand that doing some of these figures, you got to find, like, you get that Galactus over in the corner. It's got to stand, almost 2 feet tall, So it's trying to find stuff that, you can put that stuff in and not take up a whole bunch of room.
And then too, your 18-wheelers, your big rigs, they won't fit in there either. So you just about have to have a.
Looks like Rick finally made it.
Yeah, that's probably true, Brian. But for me, well, I guess I could probably handle an animal paint as far as doing detail work.
I guess it depends on what you're using it for, right?
I mean, like these little bitty tester bottles, I can handle breathing that, without any problem.
Right.
But
no, it's all about what you can handle, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know, what limitations I've got, and I'm not going to, get out something other that I know damn good and well is going to take my breath away from me and start using it. I know, what I can handle and what I can't pretty well. It's like, I can't stand to be around pine sol or Clorox. It just, takes my breath away from me. I just can't breathe. And some perfumes, before I, got to where I couldn't get out and go about, I could go to Walmart and some of these women's perfumes, I could walk down one of the aisles, and if they was, in front of me, I'd just have to turn around and go, into another aisle because it just takes my breath away, which a lot of them, I think they bath in the damn stuff anyway. But it's just, certain smells are, a lot stronger, and I just try to stay away from them.
So I know I was going to ask this, but because I know the other day you were having trouble with StreamYard. Do you have any questions about StreamYard? Because I know I'm not the all expert, but I've gotten pretty good at running StreamYard.
Yeah, I've kind of figured everything out, pretty well. I think a lot of it's just, my laptop is caused a lot of the problems. Like I was telling you earlier, now when I do my live stream on Thursday nights, I don't have a bit of problem. I mean, we had 9 or 10 listening this past Thursday, and it didn't slow down. Nobody in the hangout was lagging. Well, other than Jonathan on the model car guy, he was on his cell phone outside, and he was kind of breaking up a little bit. But other than that, everybody was running pretty smooth, and even mine, was running all right. I think, but when I go on Brian's or somebody else or Cliff's, it's when I log in on their StreamYard, is when this laptop, goes to shit. But if I'm just on it myself, it works okay. That's the reason why I didn't want to take that chance on yours, and to doing this. That's why I'm on the phone or cell phone, doing. But I mean, it works all right too. But I'd rather do it, on the.
Well, I know it's, it's technology based. It's, and getting used to all these, how StreamYard works, what options you have, not
Yeah.
have, That's why I thought, I would, if you had questions, I'd try to help you,
Yeah. Not so far. I've not had any problem. I mean, I've been able to get on, bring up the StreamYard, and load the live stream or schedule it and all that stuff, and which I've been watching all the videos and stuff on YouTube about it, and then I go on YouTube, load it, and then go into the studio, and then bring up the chat and everything in there, so that way I can make people monetize it for moderators, because I know again you can't do that in StreamYard, so I figured that part out. So
well, okay, so now wait a minute. You have options in the StreamYard thing on the chat for YouTube, where you can kick people just straight out.
Yeah, but there's the only two choices you got. You can either ban them, or you can
Time out.
You can't make them a moderator. You can't go to their channel like you can if you click on the three little dots in
right.
YouTube.
Right.
But like where I'm on here right now, looking at the chat screen, on my laptop, I can go down, which I'm not a moderator on yours, but like on Brian's or any of them, I can just go down the chat room. If I see somebody comes in there new, I just click on their name or click on the three dots, go to their channel, and I can subscribe to them, or I can copy the link and post it in the chat, for everybody else to go look and see or whatever. And it makes it, a lot easier. And like with Cliff, he makes everybody that comes in his a moderator, where everybody can click on everybody else's stuff or whatever. And I try to do that too, just to keep everybody on up and watch out for some of those that don't need to be in there. That's what we got Pappy for.
What does that say? Using your internet cable instead of Wi-Fi eliminates a lot of streaming issues. Okay. Probably true.
That eliminates all the problems, Marcy. Let's see. Marcy button.
Watched YouTube videos searching and still won't.
Oh, it's Cookies when I said that. Sorry about that, Cookie. Let's see. Oh, I ain't going to, Pappy.
Well,
I ain't going to get Johnny started.
So
we'll save that for Brian's live tonight.
So for the most part,
yeah, this ain't a tool, but I guess it is a tool. I got me a coffee cup with my jump card on it. I guess you can call that a tool. I can't work without it. Don't get strangled first. Yeah, I know I'm getting pushed in, ain't I, Johnny?
Right. So you've been. I've noticed you go over to the UK side. How are you liking that side of the community? Because I've been.
Well, we used to go on there all the time, but we're suing them. Used to do theirs too early in the morning. I'd have to get up, like at 5 o'clock, to be able to get on theirs. Or it's like Dave, on Screw and Glue. He does this so early in the morning, our time, that it's hard for me to get on there anymore. But now, Moss on the Air Picks and Chill, he does his at 3 o'clock our time, on Mondays. And here about 2 months ago, he had me on as a guest to be on the show with him. And because he just does his live stream or his hangouts by invitation only.
Yeah, right.
Just go in there and get all his live stream or click onto it, link or whatever, because he only sends them out to certain ones. But yeah, I've got quite a few, subscribers off of going on to those live streams over in the UK. A lot of them, it even comes on here in Brian's and a lot of, these other ones, and on the ones, the live streams that I was doing on Thursdays, I've noticed, that they've been several coming on here too, from over, in the UK.
Yeah, you do yours Thursday is, I think, early enough. It's almost what, midnight there, I think, for them.
Yeah, it's well, they're 5 hours ahead of us, so I start at 6, so it'd be around midnight or somewhere around there whenever.
Right.
But now Sarah, has come on there before, and the other day or a couple of weeks ago, Paul Plastic Monkey, he was on there, him and Sue, but they couldn't stay long because it was getting late, and there was somebody on there the other night that I can't remember now. I think it might have been Wayne was on it, but he said it was like 1:30 in the morning, so he had to sign off. But if I could just stay a little while, I really appreciate anybody that comes on there,
right?
Even if it's just for a few minutes. At least they did take the time to come on there. But I try to get on Sue's and them. I used to watch it all the time, from Mike, Skelly Models was on there, but I don't think he even does it anymore. I think his health is too bad or something. I don't know what the deal is with him, but he does come, on some of the hangouts, like Brian's and stuff, but I don't think he does it, with Sue and them. I don't know. He may do it. I know Chris does, from on his channel, does it with him.
Yeah, no, yeah, Mike, I seen him pop up probably about 2-3 months ago just to tell everybody hi, and then I haven't seen him since. So I was kind of wondering that same thing.
He was sick for a while, and which Sarah would probably know.
Right, like it.
Yeah, Marcy said Mike ain't been on in ages.
Yeah, no, he really hasn't, and.
Yeah, well, he wasn't doing too good, even the last time that I was on their page or on their live stream on. They do it on Sundays, and I think they do it again on Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tuesday for me, it's like noon, I think.
Well, yeah, for me, it's like 2 or 3 o'clock today.
Right.
But on Sundays, they used to do theirs right about the time that Terry done his, around 2 o'clock, and that's why I more or less quit going and watching theirs because I'm tuning in on Terry two's,
right,
and was watching his. And, I appreciate them, coming on mine, and I wish I could go on theirs a lot more, but.
All right. Is there anything else you want to bring up? Because we've been on for about an hour, and then I'm going to let you ask a couple questions.
Oh, yeah, I said that I wasn't going to, try to talk as much as I did last time.
No, you're fine, dude. I work, it's totally cool. Everybody knows I've been lucky to get this much.
Yeah, I know that, you said before, you'd rather have somebody that would, don't care to talk as to sit and try to, get somebody to say something, because it's like pulling hen's teeth, to get some people to even answer you. And
right. And that's not a bad thing. It's not it, and it's not a bad thing. It's not.
At doing an interview, if you can't get somebody to answer you, or they'll just answer that specific question, and then they won't go on, about anything else. And no, Ryan, I ain't. Well, I'll take it back. Yeah, when I was little, I used to do like Frankenstein and all of them figures that Aurora had. Actually, I forgot to Werewolf over here, or Wolfman over here now, that I could do. Yeah.
Senior will talk ears off of a goat. I don't want to know what that's referring to, Fred. And
Ryan, he took the words right out of my damn mouth. That's, yeah, I can talk ears off a goat until the diamond falls out its eyes.
yeah, I saw that on Fred's the other day. That was hilarious. But no, I mean, we've been on almost an hour. Did you have any questions for me?
Well, I was going to ask you earlier when we was talking about, the 3D printing stuff, was on earlier.
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer, or does it matter, or does it make a difference on what you're actually printing? Which printer you'll use? Use the one like with the weed eater string or whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it.
So that's PLA and resin. Resin's the liquid stuff.
Yeah.
PLA is the string.
Which one do you like using the most? Or does it matter on what you're actually printing?
It depends. It depends on what I'm actually trying to do. Now, resin side, I don't have a very big build plate. So if I want to build something that's gigantic like the robot here,
yeah,
that's not going to be done in resin because it'd take me 2 years to print everything out. But like, I mean, I'll bring it up on screen here.
Well, the reason I wanted to ask that is because you're about the only one that I know of that has both printers that prints both of them.
So like this is PLA. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's resin. There's a lot more work to it, and I still have to finish painting some of it. But
yeah,
it resin's all about detail, right?
Yeah, more detail.
Right. But I mean, to be honest, if I bought a new filler primer, so it didn't fill in all the lines, but this is just basically a practice puck at this point for skin tones. But some of that cheaper automotive paint, if I'd have sprayed it with that and it's a little bit thicker, it would have took all they're called striations, I think, would have taken all that stuff out. Then I wouldn't have had to sand very much, but
Well, I've heard you tell a lot of people on your, different ones that out in your garage, the temperature plays a big part in how that print comes out. It works up until you can tell when what the weather temperature drops to just for looking at the print. That you can see it in the print itself. Now, is that on both printers, or is it just on the resin part? Both of them does it.
So basically, on the PLA side, because it's plastic melted onto one another, when the temperature drops in here, you can literally see it in the print. It's absolutely crazy how you can see it. The resin side of it, it's only a little bit. So
now, more naturally, I guess we print a bigger print, or bigger or whatever. It's going to take more time, but which printer actually takes the longest to print? Or does it matter or depend on the size of it?
So you're talking about time, how long it takes?
Yeah, I mean, as far as if you print both the same figure out on both printers, which one would take longer to print than the other one would?
Oh, PLA easily. Yeah, PLA takes forever.
Yeah.
But
that's what my son uses, to print out these things that he made for me. And like those little tokens, it only took him, he said, like 9 minutes to make one.
Right.
which I
There-
thought
there-
there's not a
but
whole lot to it, but I guess 9 minutes is not very much.
But if you did that same token in resin, it'd be like minute and a half, maybe. But it depends on the settings. Like out here in the garage, because I live in the Pacific Northwest and I have all this moisture content
Yeah.
and everything, I cannot exposure time on my resin printer. I can't do it under 10 seconds of exposure time. My printer will not print it. So it's all about your environment, your settings, and you can adjust all that, but you can only adjust it for so much. And that's kind of the thing I'm learning now with the resin side of it. Because like this figure, it's all PLA. Just the top part took almost 2 days on PLA.
Shit.
Right? And then this figure took 12 hours to print in resin.
So I guess there's, I might know who's out there pulling around that doorbell.
See, a dehumidifier will not work out in the garage because it's still, you're getting moisture to come through the garage door. It's all about moisture. It's in the summertime, like when it's 90 degrees, I can kind of go under 10, but it's still, you're dealing with outside conditions. It's kind of really difficult to explain, but
does the humidity affect it like it does, painting a model or something? Or just temperature wise?
So humidity is not anything like it is over on the East Coast. We have more of a drier climate once it gets kind of hot.
That's why I was wanting to go to Arizona, because humidity out there, you're like 17%. Is high compared to here, 100%.
I understand that, Marcy. I really do, but it's all about climate, right? It's not, because I live in a house that's only 10 years old, and I still can't seal up the garage any more than because you have the cracks in the door, the windows in the garage, it's the bottom gasket on the garage door, the gasket on the top. I mean, you can only seal that stuff up so much before the door doesn't work.
Yeah, I'll just leave all that printing stuff for somebody else. And if I need anything, I'll just buy it.
Well, I mean, the PLA side of it, I mean, I'm pretty good at it. I would think I'm more stronger there than I am on the resin side at the moment. But the resin side of it, it's, I'm still kind of really learning. And, like I printed out Black Panther. That's what I've been printing out lately.
And the only things I see with that PLA or whatever you call it, the one with like the wheat ear string.
Yeah.
My son brought his up here and set it in there in the living room, on the coffee table, and printed out this little thing right here for me, this little skeleton or skull. And
oh yeah.
But I mean, it done a good job as far as that. I don't know what the opening on it is for, but I just got it set over here for decoration. But it don't have no smell to it. I mean, he printed that out, and I couldn't even, smell anything that he was printing. And that's the only advantage I see, because Miguel uses that water-based resin, and he said it don't really smell. But then you said, that some of it does. So I don't know if it's just, the brand that you're using, or or what. Because he
I,
told me that I would, probably could or use a resin printer. They're using that water-based resin because it didn't smell that strong. So, I'd be able to handle it. But,
see, for me, because my wife and son both have asthma, my printers cannot go in the house
yeah,
because they'll both be just not breathing very well. So, and the resin stuff is way stronger than the PLA, and even the PLA, it's it has a smell to it, but it's like you're burning plastic. You know what I mean? Like it's I don't know
yeah,
if you've ever tried to like light a straw on fire, but
yeah.
it's kind of that smell.
No, yeah, I've burnt plastic a many times. Matter of fact, that's what we used to do. Pass time by when I was a little kid. We'd take milk jugs, plastic milk jugs, and catch them on fire and let it drip because it would make a noise, as every time it dropped. And we'd let
Right.
it, in the creek and let it fizz when
What
playing with it.
and that smell that a milk jug has is kind
Yeah,
of it's not bad for PLA, but I mean there is a smell there. But yeah,
I
like
couldn't remember anything, when he was printing that there out, in there on the table. Which it could have because I had the ceiling fan on too. It's probably keeping it away
right.
from you. But
But like the resin side of it, there's a couple resin bottles. I want to say the Anacubic stuff. There was a smell to it. There wasn't, but this Sunloo stuff that I'm using now, wow, there's some bottles like I could print 4 or 5 things out and there won't be any smell out here. And then all of a sudden I'll hit just a certain spot in that bottle and it don't matter how much I shake it up. And this garage is not pleasant to be in. Like I have to open all the doors. It just depends. You know. I want to try some of the water washable stuff, but Miguel is probably one of the few people I know of that actually gets that stuff to work. So
yeah. Well, that's what he said he used, and he prints out a lot of stuff. I don't know.
right, Marcy. Yeah, it may not smell, but it's still dangerous. It needs fended
That's
out.
pretty cool.
Well, see, and the resin side of it, they have. I've got to get me one to try it out. But they've got these little charcoal little. They're like a little motorized vape machine, but it works. It's like a filter. And you turn that on, set it in there when it's printing, and it's supposed to like make
Yeah.
it so it doesn't smell inside the room.
Well,
But
they used to make a thing like that. It stood, like in the floor that would like put in a room if somebody smoked. It would draw all the cigarette smoke or whatever to it and filter it, through that charcoal filter, and then put out like clean air, from it on the other side. I guess that's what you're talking about.
yeah, all chemicals are dangerous, including water. Just kidding. Water's still good for you, unfortunately. Yeah, the mini filters. Yeah, I got to try one out. I could see. Oh, okay. So there's 2 now. That's cool. Yeah, one day I'll try it out, but water and resin never mix. Yeah, I'm sure. You got any other questions for me?
No, but the reason why I asked, I've never heard anybody that you've had on here ask you, if you had a preference on which one of the printers that you actually use, or if it does make a difference, and that's the reason why I asked. because I'm sure everybody else, knows that that's what you print a lot of figures and stuff, and that's what you do.
Oh,
You're even do the hangouts, with Gil and stuff, and with Red Dragon, and so I'm sure everybody else probably wondering, which one that you use the most.
yeah, right. I mean, I like printing out stuff that's bigger, especially when I want to test out airbrushes and stuff. And I mean, it's a Ninja Turtle. You can't. How can you not like a Ninja Turtle?
Yeah. Now, do you print that on resin or the?
This
Yeah.
is PLA. Resin printer it'd be
Take you a week or 2 weeks to print it on the resin.
no. It would be this size if I printed it out on the resin printer.
Okay, yeah, because your build plate ain't big enough.
Yeah. Oh, go over there. Wait, what? Water? Water, that's the clear non-alcoholic liquid, isn't it? Yeah. Sure. You're in the UK, so I'm not sure how to answer that. No, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that 3D printing is good for, No, that is not it's basically just a test print. It's basically just a print of a bust. It's kind of like this. There's only this on that guy's site. That was one of them. There's another one that I think I've done.
Now, those that you was looking at before we come on here, is that about the same size as that one there that you was looking at earlier? That one about Heath Ledger that had that bust of him.
Oh, yeah. I was looking.
Is that about the same size? What it would look
No,
like?
that's part of the settings because I can blow it up and shrink it down to what I need.
Oh.
But resin for that would probably be that one doesn't seem quite as big. I mean, it'd probably be about that size.
Yeah.
And that's not bad.
Yeah. It would still be big enough you could make out who it was.
Right. But that I'd actually want to print out kind of bigger too. So it just depends. Just depends on how well the file is. Because a lot of those, like I go on like Cults 3D, Thingiverse, My Mini Factory, and I just try to go through the free section because you can find good stuff that'll print. I mean that. Oh. I mean, look at the detail in that. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can see the eyes in it.
Yeah, them teeth, you couldn't get that on the other top printer, could you? That kind of detail.
Yes and no. I'd have to probably go in and like fill them in a little bit, but yeah, I probably could. It probably wouldn't look the same, but I could probably do it.
Since you got my shop card up in the background, I was going to say before we get off here, if anybody wants one of my shop cards that's in here listening, just send me an email to that address there on the bottom of the card there. And,
right.
I'll send you one. Be glad to send you one. And if you ain't subscribed, be sure to click the subscribe button to me and Josh both.
Right. No, it's pretty cool how I need to actually figure out what I want my shop card to be at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't got none yet, have you?
No, I'm not.
It's hard to make you one with all them figures you got.
Well, the problem is I don't, I do so many different things.
Well, yeah. We'll do like a lot of them, just put one of each thing on the cart to show you
Right.
the variety of
Right.
everything that you do.
Okay, so Frankie B, what are you looking forward to doing next?
No.
I think he came in late. He probably didn't hear.
Cookie, when I get my eggplant done here, I've got the Boot Hill Express, the original Boot Hill Express from '67 that I'm going to be starting on. And when I get that one done, I hope to be able to maybe do the street machine group build that Jason over at Blue Ox has got going on. Because I think it runs until the end of December. So I should have plenty of time, even after I get the Boot Hill Express done, to be able to get, started on it. We'll do it. I just don't know which one I'll do. Probably it will be either a Camaro or a Nova or something. That, pretty well covered the street machines or what we would drove back, during high school. And
So-
too, me and Ryan is doing a buddy build on the Boot Hill Express, which he's already got his done, and he built his a little bit different. He took the front end off the Munster coach and put it onto the front of the Boot Hill Express. So his has got the engine sitting up front instead of back in the back, where the coffin would be. And,
Yeah, and just remember, next week you get to ask Frankie B that question because he'll be on next week.
No.
Right. Marcy's gonna do a street rod one. That's cool.
Are you going to host the street rod group build, Marcy?
No, I think she's talking about the one that Jason's
Street
doing.
rod for Jason's. Okay. I see.
At least that's how I took that. I could.
Well, like I said, there's so many damn group builds going on right now, and you just name something other than somebody got one,
Right.
and there's plenty more coming up. No, she said Jason, so yeah, street rod that would work. Be like the Happy Days.
Right. Tell us more about the Hobby Barn model store idea you've always wanted to have. Oh, that must be something I haven't heard.
On here. That's how I get my name, Hobby Barn.
Oh yeah, okay. Right.
Yeah. But I ended up, going to flight school and learning to fly a plane, and that went, down the drain. I've done that instead of opening up a hobby store. But the name stuck, though. I've used it. Hobby Barn is what I'm going to call it, and I've used that name ever since high school.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, that's, when I had AOL years ago, that was my email, name or whatever, was the Hobby Barn. And even on eBay, that's the name I went by. And that's what I use on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. Yeah, I guess I could probably open up one with all these back here behind me. I probably have got more than fucking Hobby Lobby does.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the other day, someone must there's times I go into Hobby Lobby and the shelves are completely full.
Yeah.
2 or 3 models deep. And then I'll go back a couple weeks later to get paint or something, and there's like 3 kits on the whole shelf. And I'm like, what the heck happened? I don't understand.
Well, even on their website, because that's where I buy all my stuff at. When they got the 40% off, I go on their website, and order it. And but they don't even have a big selection even on there. It's most of the time when you see one that you want, you click onto it and it says out of stock. And
Right.
you get all the way to the checkout and it says out of stock. Or, to go to put how many you want or whatever. But that's the only time I ever buy anything off Hobby Lobbies when they do the 40% off. Because I ain't paying $40 for a damn mop. Especially when I can get it for 40% off. And then some of them, like Pappy's all-time 67 Chevelle Pro Street, you can buy them for like, $16 or whatever with 40% off.
But that's the problem with Hobby Lobby now is they don't have the 40% off coupons anymore.
Yeah. Well, this weekend coming up should, not this weekend, but next weekend should be the 40% off week. So they just had it your last weekend. Yeah, Marcy was talking about that on my live stream the other night. A lot of the people that she said showed up at their shows and stuff was trying to sell the kits that Ollie's had, marked down for more, money than what the Ollie's was selling for. And that's the very reason why Ollie started putting stickers, the price underneath the plastic, so people couldn't, change it. But they still figure out a way to cover it up, to get more out of it.
Right. Hobby Lobby isn't a real saying. They mark stuff super high over.
And that's why you can't usually get anything, Ollie's either, because somebody will go in and they'll buy every one that they got, and to keep somebody else from getting, just so they can try to resell them for more money.
No, I mean it's true. I mean it's crazy, at the end of the day, how expensive this hobby's getting.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's just like even with the spray cans of paint, $11, $12 a can. I mean, hell, it used to be able to buy $2 or $3 a can.
Right.
Even less, when I was growing up. But $11, $12, for a can of spray paint, that's just getting,
that's all.
Bigger size. That's just getting too outrageous, And it's just like they was advertising or talking about that one chrome paint that they had, just here not long ago. $30-some damn dollars for a can of chrome paint? Yeah, I don't think so. I'll use a magic marker and call it chrome.
There's that little the mirror chrome stuff that is in like, I may not have a bottle. It's like it looks like this kind of bottle. Yeah. Might even there's like a 30 mil. I think it's like an ounce. But it's like $50 to airbrush. It's not worth it. Like by the time you airbrush anything in chrome, if it's like a car bumper or something, you're gonna use that much in a bottle.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that paint, I seen where Outlaw Paints has started to distribute worldwide. They had it posted yesterday on their page. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
Yeah, he got a hold of High Altitude Hobbies, and Brett over there is going to be selling some of that, which is super cool because now I don't have to spend $27 to get it shipped to me.
Well, I think Mark from Blue Street Customs up in Canada, he's supposed to be, I think he's going to start selling it or try to sell it.
I don't know the whole story there, so I don't want to put
getting that hobby shop, that he deals with. You might be getting them set up to sell.
Like I said, I don't know the whole story, and I don't want to put Mark on the spot, but
Yeah.
it sounds like he's trying to connect a couple of businesses to start
Yeah.
selling it. It's
Yeah.
it's super easy to use. I mean,
he's not went into any detail, as far as what he's working on. He just said, he's working on getting it,
right,
up in Canada. Is all that
right.
he's pretty well said so far.
Yeah. No,
It does look like it'd be good paint, if you could handle that, kind of paint. And just like he said, on doing George's interview, by the time they get done, they'll have over 500 different colors to choose from. I
right.
mean, that's a hell of a lot of paint.
Yeah, right. I mean, shipping paint around the world is expensive to license. Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt in my mind.
If you can get it, you're in the States, it won't, the shipping wouldn't break you up trying to buy it, like it would now. You try to get it now shipped from Australia or whatever, it costs you more for shipping than it would for damn paint.
Well, I mean, those bottles are $10 a piece. So if you, like, I got 5 of them shipped to me, and the shipping was almost half the price. Like it cost me like $80 for 5 bottles of paint.
Yeah,
And it's not it's not.
They're not real big bottles either.
No, they're super not.
Was it 30 milliliter or something like that size?
Yeah, I think so. I don't have one in front of me, so I want to say I think so. But
Yeah.
it like I said, it's awesome paint. I'm definitely going to be getting more of it. So there's third party. Oh, I'm sure it's MRSP and the sell price. It's all marketing at some point.
Yeah, and Pappy's probably right too. All chemicals shipped like that, it probably costs more, for shipping, due to the way it has to be labeled.
Fred, we call that the Republic of California here on the West Coast.
Yeah, well, everything out there screwed up.
Well, try being closer to them, and I understand. No, it's pretty cool. Did you have any other questions for me?
No, that was about it. Everybody pretty well, like I said, ask questions all the time, when they're on here, but I've never heard anybody ask you that, and that's why I was wondering. Since you, like I said, you're the only one I know of that's got both printers and uses both of them.
Right.
Especially in the summertime, maybe not in the winter, but
yeah, summertime, yeah. But being a modeler, I'm broke at the moment because I went and bought a bunch of stuff. So I got to get some more resin and parts for the printer, but there'll be some more stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But we've been on here for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
If you don't have any more questions for me, I'm going to end this, and I will talk to you in a couple minutes.
Well, appreciate it for tuning in. Thanks, everybody.
All right, talk to you in a minute, Terry. All right, so that was Terry. Terry filled in today. I really appreciate the fact he jumped on today. They're same time tomorrow. If the show ends up happening, there'll be one tomorrow. Hopefully, Lynn wants to still come on. If not, we're just going to reschedule it for later in the year. But next week, Frankie B is up next. Frankie B. Will be up next. So I will see you guys next week, or tomorrow, or next week. Bye.